Hi everybody, Don Giannatti, lightingessentials.com. That's lighting-essentials.com, and also project52system.com. I want to talk a little bit about portfolios because I think it's one of the more important aspects of anything that we're doing, and that is preparing for our portfolio. It's our number one asset. It's our number one sales tool. It's our number one credibility builder. And I think sometimes when you're first starting out as a photographer, you have this sort of feeling that your portfolio is where you put every great shot you've ever done. And that's not what it is. A portfolio exists to show potential clients that you're capable of doing the shot they need done. That's fairly simple and also complex as hell, because we don't actually know what's going on inside their heads when they're telling you what you want. But we do know what we're capable of doing on our portfolio, in our portfolio. First of all, your portfolio has to be deep enough to be considered a body of work. Now, a body of work is not the best photographs you've taken all put in a box. A body of work are images that flow together, that respond to each other and to your style and to your perceived style. Anyway, people see you and want to put you in a box based on what you shoot and the style that you shoot. And in some ways, that box is very good because it helps define you. And in other ways, that box can be bad, especially when they put you in a box where you don't think you belong. So let's talk a little bit about the overall structure of a portfolio. It's not every great photograph you've taken. It's a selection of images that go together to leave a thought in someone's mind who's seen it, a credibility, a sense of style. And because of that, there are challenges aplenty. You have the every shot I do is good enough problem, and it's really a problem. And you have the plain boring but pretty problem. An image for your portfolio doesn't necessarily have to be pretty. It can be very effective without being pretty. Say, for instance, you're an industrial shooter. An industrial shooter may have photographs that aren't necessarily pretty, but are beautiful in the eyes of the clients that would hire them for that. You have to understand, number one, understand your audience. Number one thing about building a portfolio is knowing who you're shooting that portfolio for. Do you know who you're shooting pictures for? If you haven't started being paid yet, who are you targeting? Everybody? No, that's not going to work. Can't do it. You've got to focus a target like a laser beam on who it is that you're shooting for. Exploring the channels of your business and then putting names to those channels is one way to do it. For instance, a channel might be food. Okay? In that food channel, what do we have? Who do we have that's it's possible to sell food shots to? Where you are now, are there restaurants with menus? Probably not chain restaurants because their marketing department's going to be somewhere else. But decent sized mom and pop restaurants? Are there food wholesalers? Are there hotels? Are there spas? Are there anybody who makes food preparation utensils? Everything from spoons and forks to giant pots. Is there someone who delivers certain types of food to restaurants? Maybe a coffee vendor, maybe a dessert vendor. And on. We start saying, okay, well, it's not just food. We have these specific markets within food. Food is a channel. We're going to dig down deeper and get to those very specific names within the channel next. A specific within a channel is, say, for instance, Bob's Craft and Restaurant Supply. Okay? Now, I'm not saying Bob's needs photographs. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But it certainly is a far cry from I don't know who my clients are to Bob's Catering and Restaurant Supply, right? That's a real company. They have a real phone number. They have somebody who answers the phone. They have an art department, or they hire a designer, or they have it farmed out somewhere else. But somebody is there. You went from not knowing who anybody and not really there, and now you've got a specific. And you continue to do that specific by targeting each one of those items within your channel and start looking for them in your town, in your region, in your area. Once you've nailed down a couple of dozen, maybe 40, 50 even, nail them down, you start building your list. Now here's the really bad part, and I'm sorry about this. That ain't fun. There's no like super fun job to be done building your list. It's cumbersome work. It's kind of boring in a way, but you got to do it. You have to do it. The second thing that's real important about your portfolio is the content as it regards to what you do. And what do we do as commercial photographers? We solve problems. If you're a people shooter and you're going into commercial photography, you better show me as an art director why you. Solving problems is always the challenge on any commercial photography set. Maybe there's a layout that has to be followed. Maybe there's 5 different kinds of foods that have to be shot. Maybe there's frozen food that can't unthaw while we're shooting. Those are problems. I'm not saying you have to have a solution to a giant problem. Sometimes if you're a people shooter, shooting 2 people in the same photograph is solving is a solution to a problem. It's solving a problem. It's hard to shoot 2 people in the same shot. And so because it is, and you do it well, you start adding that credibility onto your portfolio of, yeah, I see. She can shoot more than just her friend up against a wall. Believe me, there are enough pictures of your friends photographed up against a wall to last 20 lifetimes. It doesn't tell me that you can do anything. Anybody can stand by a wall and anyone else can take their picture. One of the things you have to ask yourself is this. Could my mom, who's not a photographer, take this picture I'm about to take on her iPhone? Because the answer is yes. You're not ready to make that photograph. You have to make photographs that somehow nobody else can make without your style, without your splash. If you're not, you're a commodity. And if you're a commodity, you're going to be hired on the cheapest price possible, because that's what commodities are. So the 2 important things you've got to understand about your portfolio is, who am I shooting it for? And am I solving problems with the photographs I'm making? Do that, and you'll have a solid beginning to a portfolio. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the other 2 foundational stones of your portfolio. And I'll see you then.